everybody! I thought I would take you along with me today. I just did a photo for a book review I have coming up later this month on Patreon, and I was outside getting some props. And I thought, you know what, this is probably something that a lot of people either haven't done or, you know, it's just kind of a fun thing to do to show you that if you just look in your own backyard, sometimes you can find some really great photo props for free. Sorry, it's really breezy out. My hair is just blowing like crazy. So I thought I'd show you kind of like what I look for when I'm outside. Fall is a great time to do it because everything, especially after it's been dried out, like today we have a really breezy day, so everything's really good and dry. It's a great day to pick up some like dried stuff. It's kind of like going to a floral department, but it's in your very own backyard. So I thought I'd show you some things I kind of look for when I do this kind of stuff. I'm going to turn you around. Okay, so first thing I noticed is like up here by our house, we have these dried, I don't know if you can, well, you can see that, these dried plants. I'm not sure what they were actually to start with. I wish I knew the names of all these things, but I just don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to harvest some of these here, bring my scissors, and then I'm also going to harvest, I see these really cute little puffy ones through my fence here. This is all of our property as well, so I'm not going off property or taking anybody else's anything. But yeah, we just let these weeds kind of grow up and never knocked them down this summer. And so I'm just gonna first start with harvesting a couple of those and add them to my bouquet. So now I've got these harvested here. I just got some pretty good sized clumps. I didn't obviously take everything, I just took a few pieces. You only need a little bit usually for photos. And then I tried to get kind of larger pieces. That way if I needed to cut off a couple small branches for different things over the fall and winter here while I use these, I have plenty to work with. So then as I was walking around our yard, I was noticing like these are really neat, but not ideal. These stickers, they're a really cool plant. You could save some, but I don't know. I don't like to hang on to stickers. I feel like they always get caught up in clothing or something. Or our daughter finds them. But then I did see this really cool plant here with these really neat little dried seed pods. I don't know if you can hear that. They're rustling so nice in the wind. So I don't want to take all of them because I just think they're so pretty. It's nice to walk out here and see them. But I'm going to harvest a couple of those. I also really like these berries, but again, these can be dangerous for children and pets. So I'm not going to use those unless I'm going to use it immediately in my setting and then throw them back into the woods. So I do not hang on to those and keep them anywhere. But I am going to grab some of these. There are my, I'm calling them like little, I don't know, money plant leaves. They kind of remind me of those leaves, or like a jade plant or something. I'm not sure what they are. So I've got those added. Now I am walking out. We have a big wood pile back here, old tree that fell down. There's always good stuff that grows up around these types of areas. But the thing that caught my eye was actually this long grass that has gone to seed. You know, it's nice to have stuff like this because it adds a lot of volume to your pictures and a lot of textural interest. But then sometimes it's really nice just to have something really simple in it. Like this stalk of wheat is really, or I call it wheat, it looks like wheat. This stalk of grass is really nicely formed with all the little seeds on it. And it just, I don't know, it just gives it a nice like autumnal flair. So I'm gonna pick 5 or 6 of these, cut them off, and then I'll have them to be able to put in photos as well. All right, and now the little stalks of grass are added. My bouquet is looking so cute and very, very fall-like. The last thing I think I'm going to pick today that caught my eye when I was walking around our yard was, again, this is just a grass that has gone to seed. But it's got a different, I don't know if you can tell that structure on there a little bit better, where it's a little bit puffy, kind of feathery looking. And I have just a few of them here, and I thought maybe I'll cut off 3 or 4 of those. And again, it gives some depth and texture, but these are not as dense and overwhelming as some of these other ones, like the dark one and then the like white puffy one and the little rattly leaves. So I thought that would add a different level of texture to my little prop bouquet as well. So I'm going to cut a few of those. Okay, so there you have it. In just about 5 minutes walking through my yard, I found a bunch of dried plants that are perfect for using for things like photo props. We've got this beautiful one, and then we've got these fluffy kind of grass stalks. I found one of these in there too, so I hung on to that. There's some other types of grass that looks like somewhere like a wheat texture. This plant here had some really neat leaves on it. And then this one And then all together, let me turn you around so you can get the whole view. Those different plants just make a bunch of different colors and textures, and being that they're all neutrals, of course, because they're natural, they will pretty much play well with most things in your photos when you're doing things like knitting flat lays or a book flat lay, or you know, just some different various, you can put them in a vase and you could use those as a background prop. These kind of things just have so many uses. So what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to hang on to them. I'm going to gather them up kind of in a bouquet, keep them in a cool, dry place so that they last me for several weeks, possibly even through the winter. I've had several things just last all the way through the winter. And keep them, of course, out of the reach of our daughter and our pets, so that way they don't get into them. And I'm also probably going to keep them somewhere where, in case there are any bugs in there, it's not going to get into things, like probably out in our 3-season room. But yeah, so this is a little bit of an informal, kind of rambly type of vlog, but I thought I would just show you, you know, if you're ever looking for props for doing your knitting flat lays, or just some really neat ways to use natural things around you in your photos, look around your yard. You know, something, you know, of course, be careful if it's something you don't want it to be poisonous or anything like that, and be careful where you store it, but it works great. And I actually do a lot of my photography out on this. This is an outdoor table here. It's underneath our awning. I would show you, but our awning is a mess underneath it right now. We've got all kinds of different outdoor projects going on. But yeah, so I use this table a lot for photography, and so I use these props a lot when I'm doing some outdoor photos. So I hope this gave you some ideas and some inspiration to just look around you, see what you have, and make your knitting photos a little more interesting.